g'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bush TV. Well, this is a big trip, it's an iconic one, and we're starting in Mansfield of Victoria. From there, we're going to head over the Bluff range, and we're going to head into Wanangata and then out through Dargo. It's a fantastic trip guys, so sit back and relax and enjoy the Bush TV. This episode is proudly sponsored by the Sign Shop Australia, the Licola Caravan Park, Profit Kitchens and YV Sheds. Mansfield was formerly heavily dependent on farming and logging, but is now a tourist centre. It is the support town for the large Australian ski resort, Mount Buller, and is associated with the Victorian high country traditional alpine grazing. So we just hit the Hauka track, we're heading that way, we're going to hit some snow, so I've got to drop the tyre pressures down to 25. The Hauka track winds down from Merrijig all the way to Sheepyard Flat Campground. It takes around 30 minutes and is about 18.4 kilometres in length. Nice easy road to get your caravan or camp trailer down to camp down in the Sheepyard Flat on the Hauka River. It's also a very good starting point to the foothills of the Victorian high country, as you can camp there and do several day runs. Fry's hut, built by Fred Fry in the late 1930s to early 1940s. Using split timber and his own special style of workmanship, he created many huts in the region, including Upper Jamieson Hut, Ritchie's Hut, Gardener's Hut and Noonan's Hut. Well, it's Fry's hut. It's built by Fred Fry in the 1940s. Just check this hut out. This is one of the first huts I ever camped in back in the 80s. And due to people making a mess of the area, they've closed this hut off. You can't camp here anymore. But still got a good campground around the outside. And the Hauka River, just down there, it's quite good. Alright, well, that's Fry's hut. It's actually quite a good looking hut. There's another hut that we're going to go to, and it was built by Fred Fry as well, so we'll go and check that out right now. We'll get out of here. It's pushing now 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I sort of want to go get a camp spot pretty soon. Alright, so guys, I'm at Bluff Hut tonight. This was not part of the plan. I was meant to go down to Jamieson Hut, or Upper Jamieson Hut, whatever you prefer to call it. But I decided, because we pushed for a bit of time, is to take the little risk and get up to Bluff Hut. Now this hut's very popular, so coming in here at this time of year, or any time of year really generally, you might find someone in here. So we are going to stay in this hut tonight. There's been snow. It's pretty cold at the moment. There's a bit of a breeze. The snow's melted. The last couple of days there's been quite a lot of snow here. So we've got to go out, got to get some firewood, get a fire going and get settled into this hut. Let's go. The original Bluff Hut, built in 1956 by Edley Stoney, Archie Cameron, Ray Kelly and Jack Ware, burnt down in the 2007 bushfires. The rebuild began late 2007 into 2008. This is what the hut used to look like just before the 2007 bushfires. The hut offers great shelter and must be shared to anyone who comes along in need of shelter. The track is also seasonally closed from the first week in June to the first week in November. Okay guys, so I'm situated in Bluff Hut right now. It's pretty cold. It's probably around -1 outside. There has been a hell lot of snow that dropped in the last couple of days, around 30 to 40 centimetres. Now, outside right now, there is no snow. Okay, it's very patchy. So I went out and got a whole lot of wood for this fire. It took a little bit to get going. Now what I've done is I've situated some of the wood that I've split on the outside of the fire there right now. Now the fire's going pretty good. The wood's drying off nice from the radiant heat. It's starting to steam and drying off. Some of this wood will be used in the morning. Okay, so even there's a little bit there and some under the seat there. So that's what I do, just to let you guys know. Most people don't really do that. I don't think they dry it out like this. They just stack it up in a corner. But if you dry it out, the radiant heat will dry the wood out nice and dry, and it burns pristine. There you go guys, nice little tip for those who don't know. Some of you might know, but for those who don't, enjoy the content and hope you learned something today. Well, it's a bit chilly this morning. I'd say it's about -3 degrees. The sun's out, it's going to be a great day. What a cracking day it is out here today. So I didn't film much about in the hut last night. We had a pretty good camp in there. It was a bit dark inside to film, so like I said, didn't film that. So we're heading today down to another hut. So I'm going to head down Refrigerator Gap Track and we're going to check out Upper Jamieson Hut on the Jamieson River. Let's hope we can cross it because there's a lot of snow melt at the moment. Let's go. The Refrigerator Gap track runs from the Bluff Link Road all the way down to Brox Road, or the other way around, and is approximately 7 to 8 kilometres in length. Track conditions may vary during seasons, especially winter. Most times I've done this track over the years, the track hasn't been very hard, minimal bog holes, and quite simple from top to bottom. This is a handy little shortcut, especially if you're coming in from the Lower Saddle Road, and you can head up to Bluff Hut from the Bluff Links Road. Jamieson hut. Another hut built by Fred Fry in the 1930s. This time this one's situated on the banks of the Jamieson River North Branch in a pristine little flat, one of my favourite huts in the Victorian high country. The river crossing on the way into this hut can be notorious, and once you've passed it, if it rains overnight heavily, you might not be able to get out. Best do your research before you come into this type of area. In late 2006, this hut was very decrepit. In early 2007, they commenced the rebuild, and it was finished by Christmas 2007. The Jamieson River is a very popular fishing location, with excellent fishing for trout in this freshwater system. So after setting up in Jamieson Hut, we went for a little drive to meet up with my friend over at 8 Mile Gap. On the way back, we come across a log truck. You've got to be very cautious of these trucks on these tracks and keep an eye out for the UHF channel they're using on the radio.
Mate, hey? Look a long long drive.
Long drive in the saddle.
Yeah, left at 11.
Comes to a good result. Here at Jamieson Hut, we've got the wool on the roof rack.
Oh, sweet.
Let's get the party started. Let's go. It's time to get that fire going and prepare for a very cold night. After a nice warm fire and a good feed, it's time to hit the swags and get a good night's sleep ready for the next day. We woke up to an excellent day the next morning. The sun was out, it was melting all the ice, and we were in for a beautiful day. Okay, so today's plan is to leave up at Jamieson Hut that we just camped in last night. As you can see in the background, it is quite cold, probably -2 I reckon overnight, so everything's a little bit icy. So today's plan, we head over across the Jamieson River, up the Cane Creek track, see Lovicks Hut, have a quick stop and have a look around, over King Billy to Helicopter Spur area, we'll have a look around up there and down Zegger Spur track into Wannangata. What do you reckon of that?
Said it was a good one.
It's going to be a good trip, so strap yourselves in. Let's go.
So let's do it.
Let's go. Like I said earlier on in the video, this river crossing has a reputation. It can be very notorious. You have to do your research before you cross into Jamieson Hut. And this track, once upon a time back in the 80s, took us about 4 hours to get out in a Hilux. These days, they've made the track a lot easier to get in and out of. Okay, so I've just come across this bridge on the Brooks Road. Now, there's a little story behind this bridge. Back in, 1995 I think it was, or late 94, I came down here with my mate Mark, who had an FJ55 series, and this bridge was nothing but 2 pieces of steel or wood bearers that went across this river. There used to be a river crossing just down there, and we were coming down the Brooks Road, and what did we find inside the river? But it was a Holden Gemini, a yellow Holden Gemini. He was stuck right there in that river. We had no way to get across, so I had to get out with the handheld and guide my mate across the bearers, just the 2 little bearers, nothing else across that bridge, and we pulled the Gemini out. Now I've got a witness right here that he was in the driver's seat and I had the handheld. You remember those days, don't you, Mark?
Yeah, and if I put one wheel in the wrong spot, I would have landed up in the drink.
Well, I'm glad we didn't have to snatch him out of the river crossing. Cane Creek track runs all the way from the Brooks Road all the way up to the Bluff track. This track generally is a good shortcut, but is seasonally shut again in the first week of June to the first week in November. You can get snow on this track, so once again, be wary of the weather. At the stage we did the track, it was being logged, so it was very slippery and wet. The track is a decent little shortcut if you want to bypass Bluff Hut, and you'll come out right next to Lovicks Hut. Well, we caught the truck. I don't know where we are, probably about 5 clicks up Cane Creek track. And not sure where they're logging yet, but I'm sure we're going to find out soon. Okay, this is Lovicks Hut. Almost got it mixed up with Bluff Hut. It's a pretty good hut, this one. Okay, check this out. Stayed in this hut many times. It just gets a bit smoky in here for my liking, but it is a damn good hut. Lovicks Hut. Built in 1960 by Jack Lovick and used for many years by the Lovick family as a base for horse trail rides. Okay, so a little bit of change of plan going on right here. Now, we were meant to go down into the Wannegatta Valley, but we are pushed for time, so we're going to camp somewhere else. But you'll have to tune in next week to find out where that is. So stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Thanks for watching the Bush TV.